I am aware I can grow chlorophyte, but I don't think I'm ever going to need enough to warrant doing that. Wow, I need a lot more shrooms than I actually have. Ah, crap, this door's open. Anything in here that's fun? Nope, okay. I mean, the big thing I need right now is actually need shrooms. Because I want to make the shroomite claws. Which I don't even have the ability to make at the moment. Oh, you can summon the Eclipse. Nice. Have you guys spawned even a single horn? No? Okay, let's go get some more shrooms, because apparently I do not have enough. But yeah, I want to get the shroomite claws. It's one of the major things I want to get right now, because that's just going to make it so much more pleasant to dig. Darn it, I have reverse on. You guys want to go kill that? I'm not going to deal with that then. Yeah, face tanking Plantera and stuff like that, that's one of the reasons why I actually wanted to be an expert, because I didn't, like, I did this, that's why, one of the reasons I wanted to do this here as an expert, is because I didn't want to be able to just flat face tank things. I wanted to have to try at least a little bit. Oh, it died already? Damn. There was actually a truffle worm in the area, and I was going to go and try to grab it, and apparently it instantly died to something else. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot. Half my reason for coming down here. Like, it's absolutely fun, you know, to go and face roll stuff and beat stuff really easily. Like, I'm not going to say that's not fun. It absolutely is. But, you know, I wanted a challenge. I wanted to actually have to try a little bit. I wanted to actually have to, you know, kind of put into effect these strategies that I've seen other people do. You know, and kind of get a really good feel of the game's difficulty. Like, I end up breaking a lot of games between, you know, Twitch and the YouTube channel. There's been a lot of games that I've, you know, done up in a big way, you know. Really strong fights. Really powerful attacks. All that good stuff. I've done that an awful lot. And I wanted to actually have to... Yeah, I like going and doing the big fights in a hard way. Because oftentimes, like, I will just break the game because I'm going to try to do something else. And there is you know, there's definitely a satisfaction in breaking a game. But intended difficulty is very fun for me. Yeah, exactly. It's one of the reasons why, you know, people tell me, hey, I should mod, I should mod, I should mod. That's actually one of the reasons I'm so reticent about modding, is I really enjoy the games at their intended difficulty settings, at their, you know, do I want to bother going? No, I'm not going to bother going in that one. But I enjoy seeing the games at, like, what the developers intended me to see. But there's another lake a little bit lower. Yeah, I might eventually at some point end up playing Terraria with like one of the big mods for it, just because those add. But I want to at least, you know, beat the game as intended first. And my next playthrough of Terraria, whenever that's going to be, probably when 1.4 comes out, especially if there's a lot of cool add-ons for it. But my next playthrough of Terraria, I will probably, like, start myself with some of the fun stuff. Like, I might actually, like, import in some Shrew My Claws or something like that, just for a little bit more of an enjoyable time. Is that my fish? I think it's my fish. Oh, crap. It's not even for the sake of raffle stomping. Like, I'm not going to bring in weapons. Hey, Cereal Boy, how's it going? Like, I won't bring in weapons. I won't bring in armor. But what I might bring in is Shroomite Claws. You know, or something like that. I might bring that in on a future playthrough. Because that doesn't, you know, that doesn't make the game that much easier. It's just more, this is a little bit of a convenience thing. So that way I can kind of get through the digging aspect a little bit faster. Because, you know, at a certain point, digging is just digging. There's not really much going on there. And speeding digging up doesn't really change gameplay that much. Go back down. I think that was the fish I was aiming for. Oh, that's where I died. There it is. Chaos fish, which is a material. That's my quest item. At least I think it is. And he still will not give me the thing that I want. Dude, you suck. How long have I been on hard mode? Probably 15, 20 hours. It's kind of hard. I've actually kind of... Why am I over here? I've been losing track, honestly, because I've just been doing so many other things. I've been doing lots of building and such, so it's made it kind of hard to keep track of the stuff that I'm actually doing. Oh my god, it takes so many mushrooms. Also, hey Ozzyman TV, how's it going? Okay, hold on. You have a legitimate point. Uh, 28, so that's 2 more? 1 more. 15 to make a okay. Expert sucks. See, I like the extra difficulty of it. That's part of what appeals to me. And then also there's fun items that are only expert. So that's the part that I really like. Okay, crate potions. Didn't realize we got some greater healings. That's nice. It's just easy. I can see expert as described as many things. Easy, I'm not sure, is one of them. Game regular mode is hard enough. I have to disagree with you. I find this game to be extremely easy on normal mode. But yeah, base is right. Like, everybody has different stuff. Am I excited about new Master Mode? I don't know. I want to see what the actual changes are. One of the things that I gather that we're seeing for changes in Master Mode is that bosses' HP is going to be buffed by 30%. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. Because it just means that bosses feel like even more of a grind. I would prefer maybe 10% increase in HP, but better AI maybe, and more attacks. So I think it kind of depends on, is Master Mode just going to be shit's grindier, or is it shit's actually harder? It does sound like there's going to be new items, though not necessarily any new weapons or armors. I'm hoping for new bosses. So it kind of just depends on what we actually get out of Master Mode. I don't know. It's very much bosses that have been giving me trouble. I mean, yes, I died in normal shit. Like, I'm not gonna pretend I am good at this game. Like, let me preface this by saying I am not good at Terraria. I die a lot. Someone bought one of your bags? Nice. But I die a lot in Terraria. So I'm not gonna sit here and say, hey, I'm great at Terraria. But I feel that bosses are a big part of it, because bosses actually are progression, as opposed to just a standard, you know, all these lizards down here. You know, great, I have to fight these lizards and they can kill me, but there's not really, they're going to kill me because there's a lot of them. They're not going to kill me because they're hard. They're going to kill me because there's a lot of them. You know? Okay, I'm trying to remember what traps I've actually disarmed. I got that one. Okay, I haven't gotten these ones to the lower left here. I mean, yeah, mob quantity is, you know, definitely a thing about difficulty, and it's definitely a thing that, you know, makes enemies harder. But you can prepare for swarms, too. Like, that's the thing. Like, swarms, you can prepare for. In fact, I think you can kind of prepare for swarms a little bit easier than you can prepare for standard bosses. I should not be standing in front of that. Slime is falling from the sky. Haven't seen slime rain in a while. There we go. Again, I think I have to disagree with you. You can be on alert constantly. And I think on those hard difficulty settings, you need to be. And I think that's kind of what's important about it, is that you do need to be alert all the time. And that's what the game is asking you to do. Now, if you're saying that you can't do it, that, you know, it's too much to ask of you to be on alert all the time, that's 100% understandable. Like, for some people, paying that much attention constantly is a hard thing. And there's no shame in that. But it is something you can do. And unfortunately, the game might just be saying that is going to be a requirement of, you know, beating this particular difficulty or this particular game or so on and so forth. I do have the Tectomon spikes. The spikes are just wood. I'm mining the traps because I might use them later on. Ow. Look, I have bees, okay? Look at my bees. I want you to understand that I have bees, and my bees don't care for you. I'm out of ammo. I don't have any more bees. I really wish I had, I really wish I had torches. I really disagree with you. I apologize. I really disagree with you. People absolutely can be on alert for longer than 15 minutes at a time. And yeah, I love the name Lizard. It's fantastic. Just gonna toss one of those down there. Don't mind me. You need to die. Like, I'm just thinking, like, talk about any person who's ever been in an MMO, who's ever been camping a rare spawn, you know, talk about any security guard or police officer to stake out, talk about soldiers. That people can absolutely be on alert for longer than 15 minutes at a time. But that is a willpower and a that is a question of willpower, and that is a question of what's the word I'm looking for? It's a question of willpower, it's a question of motivation, and it's a question of discipline. You might not have those, and that's fine, because those are things that you kind of have to train up, and things that you kind of have to, you know, kind of have to do. It's something you have to kind of get yourself to do, but perseverance, yep. But it's absolutely a thing. It's, you know, like, as a person who, you know, dealt with depression for a long time, one of the things you have to be aware of, and it is a 24/7, I always have to be aware of it thing. One of the things you have to be aware of is the fact that the depression may come back, that you may have those negative thoughts, especially if you're the type of person who was suicidal is a huge part of it. Those people who have suicidal thoughts have to be on alert 24/7 to make sure that they can get help if they need it. You have to be able to. I mean, our definitions of alert may be different, but I think that I think the disagreement also stems from value systems. I think that you just don't find it to be valuable when playing a video game to be alert 100% of the time. And I think that it is, because that's the type of difficulty mode that I want to play, where I need to have that. Ow, what am I? Oh, there's a spike right there. Okay. That is a extremely narrow definition of alert. Like, that sounds what I have heard of as high alert. You know, because you're specifically saying maximum. So you're saying, you know... Okay, you're using frames as a point of reference, but frames have multiple definitions. Like, 30 frames per second in a game is very different than a game that is 60 frames per second. So you're going to have to define frames, my friend. Well, but frames... A frame has no definition, though. It is defined by how many frames are in a second in a video game or in a, or a video or something like that. So you're just saying frames, but that means literally nothing. It doesn't have any meaning because you haven't defined it. So when you say 30 frames, so if it's a 60 frame per second game, what you're saying is a reaction time of 1/2 a second. That's very long. Like, reaction time of 1/2 a second. That's a very long reaction time. And if it's a 30 frame per second game, it is a 1 second reaction time, which is stupidly long. Like, no. Like, a reaction time that slow when driving a car is going to get you in an accident. Like, in a car, your general reaction time needs to be... Keep in mind, this is to react, not to fully do your action. But in a car, you need to be reacting within, you know... Right. United States Department of Transportation, average reaction time is 0.6 seconds. And that is a 100% while you are driving a car reaction time. This is not a when you're on high alert. This is something you must always be doing when you are in a car. Oh, I missed that trap. So you're saying that people can't do that for longer than 15 minutes. I've done 8.5-hour drives. I've done, you know, my commute used to be 45 minutes in each direction. And if you're saying that I was not on alert in where I live, in freaking New Orleans, which has the highest, which is the city in the nation with the highest freaking insurance because of accidents, if you don't think I am 1/6 of a second as a... So you're saying that best reaction time is 30 frames, each frame being 1/6 of a second. So you're saying the best possible reaction time to maintain for long 15 minutes is 5 seconds? That's a really long time, my dude. Okay, I think you may need to rethink this definition of yours. Did I math that right? Go for it, Base. I think you're able to. You're speaking... Okay, if you're speaking from science, then you need to actually link me the scientific paper. If you're speaking from science. I want to see this paper. So when you have a chance, please put the link in on where this was said. Damn, we're just not getting any mushrooms. A shit ton of car accidents happen because people choose not to be alert and choose to be distracted by other things. But those are choices. They're not able to. They just don't. You know, they choose to be on a cell phone and distracted as opposed to actually paying attention to the road. That is a choice. That is not just something you're just unable to do. That's an excuse. I'm sorry. That's an excuse. It should not be hard to find a scientific paper if you know the terms that you should be able to find on Google within about 10 seconds. Oh yeah, like freaking Andy, absolutely. Any speedrunner that has to do frame perfect tricks in their speedrun, some speedruns last for over an hour, and some of them are doing frame perfect tricks on a constant basis. Absolutely, consistently being on alert. Oh yeah. People going for high scores and stuff like high play Galaga, Tetris, absolutely on alert for longer than 15 minutes, and they're responding much faster. What you're talking about. You read 5 papers per week, then you look. You're making excuses. You're making this is an excuse. I challenged you, and the problem is that burden of proof is on you, my dude. You're the one making the claim that you cannot do it, and you're the one that claimed you have evidence. It is your job to actually provide that evidence. If you can't do it, retract the claim. Do not make excuses that you can't do it. That's on you. But don't tell me you read a paper. That's so easy to... I read a paper that you absolutely have a 0.001 second response time. You can do it 80 hours a week, nonstop. Ah, okay, this isn't a legitimate discussion. Then please, for God's sake, shut your fucking mouth. Seriously, this is not... I am not going to let you go, yeah, I'm just going to claim this shit and not try to prove it, and I'm going to pretend that I did... No. Fuck off. If you cannot actually back it up, shut the fuck up. I don't want you to talk. You don't get to be a big man and try to do that shit and pretend that you're in the right here. Not gonna fucking happen. Did I put away my mushrooms? No, 29. Did I have more mushrooms in my chest over here? No, I did take all my mushrooms out. How many... Shrumite digging claws requires 18 Shrumite. Wow. No, he said that before I said anything base. And to make a point, this is just kind of an important point. There's this thing like respect and having a conversation with someone, especially when you're trying to do it in a public place. Part of that respect is if you're going to make a claim and try to have a conversation with someone and you can't back it up, it is absolutely disrespectful to just go, yeah, I'm just not gonna do that. It's disrespectful to not back up shit when you're trying to, you know, make a point like that. And then to also immediately afterwards go, well, I have evidence, but I look at evidence all the time and I can't find it. That's also disrespectful. Go, I can't find it right now. Don't make an excuse. Just go, I can't find it. Or I don't know how to find it. I read it a long time ago. I don't know how. Not, I read a bunch of shit, which is an excuse. That's an excuse for I can't find it. Just admit, I can't find it. I read it a while ago. Chances are, that will be enough. We won't be able to continue the conversation because, again, you can't prove anything. But, like, we're actively going out of our way to give examples and things that you can do and things like that, and you're just saying, no, 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 you can't do it. I read a scientific paper. Science backs me up. No, science doesn't do shit. Unless you actually have the evidence, science didn't do anything in that regard. That's kind of the point of science. You have to be able to prove it. You have to have the evidence. Like saying, it's a pet peeve of mine. Saying, science proves it. Cool, show me. That's the point of science, that we can show it, we can replicate it, we can document it. That is what science is. Well, science is not the final word in general. The whole thing about science in general is it has to be replicable. You have to be able to replicate. And part of being able to replicate is you have to have the paper. You have to have the information from the original test, so that way you know under what conditions they did it. If I don't know what conditions you did your experiment in, I can't replicate your experiments, in which case it's not science. Now, he has a point. This is a, you know, this is a more general discussion. We are not, you know, we're not having a scientific debate. We are not, you know, we are not in front of a jury of our peers or anything like that. So he's got a point, you know, that he does not necessarily have to prove anything. But falling back to, I don't have to prove anything to you, is a cop-out. You know, it is a statement of I challenged a position here, and I can't defend. You know, I can't actually defend myself. I can't actually defend this position. But instead of admitting that and admitting that I either may be wrong or that my that the other person in this conversation actually may have a point, or they may have a valid position. It's a, no. You'd have no valid position. I can't prove that, but I'm just gonna pretend I can and walk away. It's a shitty thing that people do all the time.